The everyday fan is not reading the terms and conditions. I mean, when was the last time you actually like read all the terms and conditions of the latest bit of software you've
All the
purchased?
time, Joe. Like you, never,
Like,
never.
yeah, you can see I've got shelves full of. I mean, some people call it crap,
If it's a success, we'll hear all about it. And if it's not, we won't.
and that's just yeah. I mean, I'm probably a fairly heavy internet user compared to the average Joe. No pun intended.
I mean, you were lucky if you got a crappy burger and a shitty flag, to be brutally honest. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Attention Shift. This week, I've got a special guest, Joe Edwards from Dizplai. Welcome on board.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Cool. So obviously you're into the tiger's lair here, so we can only imagine how you're going to deal with some of the very, very, very specific question I'm going to be putting your way. But no, obviously Joe Redfern left us recently, so we're doing something a bit different for the foreseeable future. Again, some of my colleagues from here at Dizplai, who've all got really strong opinions. We thought it'd be a great way to spread it around a little bit. Hi everyone. Just before we get into the pod, I want to talk about some research we've just done. We surveyed 1,500 gamers across the UK, US, and Europe, and found that your fans want to spend more with you. You're just not giving them enough reasons to. To find out exactly how much revenue your organisation is leaving on the table and what to do about it, head to display.com/insights or scan the QR code on screen. Download the report and the guide. Both are free. So, without further ado, we're going to kick off with the big story that broke at the weekend. KSI. The internet is completely divided over if KSI has actually left the Sidemen. So, here's what's happened. He uploaded an emotional 30-minute video announcing his exit from the Sidemen to fix his work-life balance, as he put it. And he's claimed there is no behind-the-scenes beef or any fallouts that have happened. It did 22 million video views in the first 24 hours, and it happened hot on the heels of the group completely selling out Wembley Stadium right before a massive World Cup summer. So the fan base interestingly is entirely fractured over the legitimacy of the video. Half think he's telling the truth, half think that it's all some kind of ruse. The group members immediately leading to the chaos, tweeting Fast and Furious style goodbye videos, and going back to the 2017 diss track. So interesting move from KSI. He's got quite big, it's fair to say, Joe. Where do you think his head's at and where's he going with this?
I don't know. I mean, my immediate thought was maybe he's outgrown them. Like, to your point, it got so big. Maybe he has actually outgrown them. I was listening to a podcast probably not even like a month ago about how the Sidemen group are looking at investments. And I wonder whether he's just pulled out of the kind of being the face of, and whether the financial stuff is still kind of in play.
I think that's a little bit stickier and harder to extrapolate from. But look, it may be that he's keeping his investments as part of that group, and this is just more from a content perspective. But it'd be interesting because in a lot of ways, a little bit like a band, right? When you leave a band, like any of the historic stuff you've done, you're part of it. Any of the new stuff, you're not. So it'd be interesting, how do they manage that investment versus, because a lot of the ways that they grow their investments is through the content they create, which you won't be party to anymore. So whether they're going to have to think of some kind of leveling on returns.
And also, what happens to all the monetization of the content that he's already on as well? So,
well, I guess that because he was part of it, he's part of the again, similar to music, part of that split. So it continues to be thus, I guess.
Yeah. I guess the other one with my marketing hat on is like all news is PR, whether it's good or bad, generally. So it's probably creating up the kind of storm in the media, as we've already seen. Like, I just think it went absolutely crazy. So that's only going to add to whatever next crazy project he's got underway or under his hat.
Yeah, there's all sorts of rumours as well that it was some kind of Arsenal bet that he lost, and that's why he did it. That basically the bet was because they won the Premier League and got the Champions League final. He had to then do a video saying that he'd left Sidemen.
Love that. I mean, okay, but we'll see. I guess we will see.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Look, obviously he recently invested in Dagenham and Redbridge as well, and he has got a lot of things. He's obviously been doing Britain's Got Talent, isn't it? That he's been doing as well. He has got a lot of stuff going on, and the reality is he is one person doing a lot of this stuff, and there is only so many hours in the day. And the Sidemen content is good. There's a lot of planning goes into it. It takes a long time to film. Some of that involves international travel as well when they do it. Like, again, there's only so much time you can devote to these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Cool. Right, the next one. So this is a bit of a disagreement already. We're already in story two. So FIFA Fan ID. FIFA's launched FIFA Fan ID, which is a free NFC-enabled physical card, little for physical card, to every ticket holder at all 104 of the matches across the 60 stadiums in the US, Canada, and Mexico for the World Cup. How it works, you collect the card from a fan information booth inside any of the stadium. You tap your phone on the card and it unlocks a digital layer. Stadium navigation, AR, video messages, merchandise personalization, all with the official tournament content. And FIFA have been explicit in this, that the Fan ID allows them to capture in-stadium behavior data paired with insights from fans' online activities. So ultimately, you can see what FIFA are going to get out of this lot as well. So there's a physical presence there, married with a digital identity, and they're unifying that for the first time at this scale. And they've got two separate systems: the FIFA ID, which is mandatory for you to be able to get a ticket, and the Fan ID, which is an optional experience layer, so you can decide not to pick up the physical card. But they have described there a value exchange, right? What the fans get and what FIFA gets. Discuss.
Well, I think the first thing was like the reason I was pro this was that it's physical. And for somebody that's going along to this event and spending God knows how much money on tickets, there's an element of having some sort of memorabilia around it. And I just like the idea of being given something that you're going to hold. You've got some ownership over it. And I mean, all the other value add stuff that they're talking about in terms of like the experience layer for them. Yeah, I mean, that's all really, really good stuff. The biggest thing for me was actually just like the fact that you're getting something physical.
Yeah, because all the tickets will be digital, I imagine, right? So you don't get a physical
Yeah,
ticket
I
anymore.
mean, I mean, when they say something like Fan ID, you imagine everything's going on your phone in some respect or another. And I'm sure there will be like advantages of having this this card versus other things like merchandise and all that other kind of stuff. So it will only be used as a way of encouraging, more revenue. I think there was something around like 5 million uh 5 million tickets sold over the period of time. My question is, I wonder how many people are going to adopt this physical Fan ID um over just sticking with the ticket. Like out of those 5 million people turning up at the
Yeah.
event, what do we reckon? Is it 1 million, 2 million, 4 million? The lot,
You know what? I'd not thought about what you said, that if every fan card, when you go into every stadium, has got a different design on it, so it becomes a collectible. I'm still not a massive fan of the idea of getting these fan cards, because I just think that if it's NFC enabled, you can make the digital tickets on the phone NFC enabled. So why do you then need to go and do a physical NFC enabled card to do the exact same thing? Now, look, they can't just make people give up their data unless they ask people to opt in on the NFC enabled
Yeah,
digital ticket. But are they not just adding a layer of complexity to what they want to try and get out of it? And is a card enough of a value exchange for people to part with their data? Is my question.
yeah. That is the
Go on, I'm going to
360.
push you a bit harder on that. Come on.
Um, do I think it's enough? I think so. I honestly, like, I think of the times that I've been at big competitions and
Yeah.
having something to show for those big competitions. I think is special. I've got in my room, I've got a couple of foam fingers, literally from when I went to see New York Knicks, which must be like 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, and I think these types of things, and you can see I've got shelves full of,
Yeah.
I mean, some people call it crap. I will call it of great memories. And I think those things are really important. And for the sake of a bit more data about what a fan's doing, I'm sure there'll be, and honestly, for the fact they've probably spent so much money on the tickets, anything extra that they're getting from the experience, I think will be enough for that value exchange.
Oh yeah,
And
they
honestly,
love. And sorry, go
we
on.
talk about like value exchange and the fact that FIFA have been explicit around the fan ID allows them to capture said they will not have been that explicit. They are to us, they are to the industry, but the
Yeah,
everyday fan is not reading the terms and conditions. I mean, when was the last time you actually like read all the terms and conditions of the latest bit of software you've
all the
purchased?
time, Joe. Like
Oh, of course.
it's my fiduciary responsibility.
All
Never,
right.
never.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's like that's the point. It's like the fans won't really they'll go, "Oh, nice, wicked. Oh, that looks cool. What can I do with it?"
Yeah.
And that'll be the point. That'll be about as far as it goes in terms of the terms and conditions, I would have said.
So I think, yeah. So I think if they we didn't really say it in anything that was, if they've made into collectible, they've probably sold it as a sponsorship inventory activation thing too to some of their sponsors, no doubt.
Yeah.
So um, if it's a collectible, I don't know how many people are going to multiple games, but I'm trying to think when I went to the World Cup in 1990 now. But again, we had physical tickets then as well, so it was a lot.
Yeah.
I've got them somewhere, but again, the football wasn't developed like it is now too. So
Yeah.
I mean, you were lucky if you got a crappy burger and a shitty flag, to be brutally honest. Um,
If you're a creator who wants to build a career like the Sidemen or Emma Chamberlain, here's one to watch. You've built the audience, you've got the revenue. How do you take to the next level? Right now, everything you built depends on you showing up. To break out, you've got to look beyond the next upload. The creators building real businesses aren't just making better content, they're building assets that work without them. We've mapped out 4 phases which will turn you from a creator to a media empire. Read the guide, start building beyond the upload.
right then, next story. MrBeast, he's in the news again. Think what you want about MrBeast, but he definitely has changed YouTube forever. And his new business venture is trying to do the same for advertising. So Beast Industries is his corporate entity. And he's now building a two-sided creator marketplace connected 100,000 vetted micro creators calls and with 1,000 Fortune brands through an AI-driven matching distribution. And so he built Viro, and we talked about that in an earlier pod with Joe Redfern, which was about creator distribution of content across TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. Now what he's building is effectively an influencer platform. So now he's found those micro creators who are willing to share and remix his content and share it to a wider audience. He's now going, well, actually, these are the ones now that I know that can actually sell access to other brands as well, not just related to the content that I'm creating. So he's done a formal advertiser presentation, a little bit like the Upfronts, which we covered off a few weeks ago. And same with NBC or Fox and Amazon to pitch for annual brand commitments. So yeah, his business has been valued at $5 billion, 400 million plus revenue, and he's filed trademarks for MrBeast Social, Be Social, Creator Industries, Watch Time Studios. So you can see the way he's going with this, and like it or not, it's clever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I mean, it feels like I think a lot where to start with this one, like the industries that work really well find some sort of slither in the middle, right? Like
Yeah.
I always think like Uber did that really well, right? They kind of connected to things that weren't really working particularly well.
Almost like the most obvious problem that no one else has spotted.
Yeah, exactly that. And ultimately there is a little bit of it's ever since influencers have been going on, I feel like there's been a bit of a wild west of the industry. Um, and I mean, there still is, frankly, but this definitely looks like a way of like systemizing uh, an approach to reach creators and provide new revenue streams and revenue opportunities for everybody, and giving brands obviously the opportunity to get in front of the audiences they want. And when you look at I mean, we know that trust of media is generally really, really low, and trust
Yeah.
of creators is a lot higher. So it kind of makes sense. And yeah, I wonder, and I need to look into it. Is like how much the investment has changed in organizations across like things like paid media versus creators
Yeah.
versus PR. But he's definitely, I mean, he's always going to be onto something, that one, but it definitely feels like a good move on his part.
I guess what's clever with, like, look, if you're putting your marketing director hat on, right, like, go to market and how you reach an audience is always like, how are we going to reach the audience to get our product in front of them? He literally gets out of bed and he's got to go, and he's a walking go to market plan, right? Because he can do something, and instantly he's reaching millions and millions and millions. So if you can work out the products and services to sell to those millions and millions, reaching an audience is not that difficult for him. Probably
No.
the easiest thing in the world, which is the complete difference to everyone else that is
Yeah.
launching products and services.
Yeah. And yeah, it's giving, on the creative side of things, it is creating new revenue opportunities for them and giving them access to brands that they probably never had before as well.
Yeah.
So I think like you can kind of see the three-sided triangle where everyone's kind of getting some value out of this one,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
It's interesting as well that he did it as like a traditional media upfront
Yeah,
where ultimately he's not necessarily coming at it with the same sort of slate of content. He's coming at it almost with a slate of, I've got access to audience. What budget have you got? Because I can create whatever content is needed to be created to get to this audience. I've already put the infrastructure in place.
yeah,
He's literally just connecting advertising money to audience without them even knowing what the content's going to be, which is totally different to how media comes at it.
yeah. The what I need to go and dig into again a little bit more will be like, I want to see the back end of his platform and what metrics
Yeah.
he's um delivering as part of it. I think the metrics piece will be really interesting on this one. But you're right, like it is just complete access to audience, right?
Yeah, totally. Cool. Right then. Next story. So Fanatics, a regular news contributor to the pod. I'm not sure if people realize just how powerful Fanatics has become as a company in sport. They started out doing merchandising, but they've just got into everything these days. And again, they're about to change a lot in the industry, and in a similar kind of way, it's sort of working off the back of what MrBeast has done. So Fanatics recently revealed that they log 2 billion plus fan signals through daily commerce on a regular basis, collectibles, betting, gaming, and that's from 100 million plus identified fans. And they've launched FanGraph, which is an advertising network built on that unified fan data, like the Holy Grail, right? So brand partners can reach fans whose purchase behavior, team loyalties, betting activity are all visible in one single profile, enabling programmatic targeting across all of Fanatics' own properties. I think the value exchange is clear, right? That every data point was earned through a fan transaction, something that they have naturally opted into when they're buying a jersey or a shirt, placing a bet, collecting a card. None of the fans signed up to be tracked, though. They signed up for a service that they wanted, and then the data has followed that value that was created from. So you're going like commerce, collectibles, betting, gaming, advertising. So again, lots and lots of parallels with the previous story with MrBeast. And each new vertical adds more fans, more data, more signals. So this is, I guess, a truly integrated ad network that they're talking about having created, where they have a pretty good understanding of what fans are doing on a daily basis.
And I'm sure they can uh command premium CPM for the privilege as well, right? I
Yeah,
mean it is smart. I think more organizations need to see the value in, you know, I mean, we speak to some organizations that are struggling with a name and an email address, and the fact that they've got all this additional data around their fans is crazy. Um I was doing a few years ago when the whole scary GDPR thing kicked off. It does feel like a long time ago now, but when that all kicked off, I remember doing a talk at an event where I just tracked how many cookies I dropped over the course of a week, and it was about 3,000.
Wow.
And that's just, yeah, I mean, I'm probably a fairly heavy internet user compared to the average Joe, no pun intended. And so the fact they've got 2 billion across 100 million is, probably about right in terms of, but it shows there's some real depth of data that they've got there. And, I would say that more and more organizations, particularly in the media space, need to start looking at this as a serious revenue opportunity. You know, too often, particularly in media, it's just like eyeballs, 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 eyeballs.
Yeah.
Rather than, and that's, ultimately that's because that's where the money's come from initially. But the fact that they are going from commerce like collectibles, betting, as you said, gaming, and then moving into this advertising space. Not only can they create their own like fan media ecosystem, but they can probably go sell that data on anonymized, of course, to generate even more revenue streams for themselves.
Yeah, there's real depth to the data that they own because it's not just like say eyeballs. It's come through genuine, not even interactions, right? Purchases. And look, I think it's an interesting link there. Obviously, early on this year, you were the architect of the anonymous fan index that we released, talking about fan data with consent earned through genuine services and at the moments of real engagement. I think people starting to understand that data is the product.
Yeah.
Is we're seeing it more and more now. I think even when we talked about this back earlier this year, we weren't seeing a lot of it.
But isn't that crazy to almost say that, right? Like,
Well, it's obvious in a lot of ways, but again,
exactly. I mean, it's like Facebook were like, we're all the bloody product because it's all our data.
Yeah.
And that was happening. Well, I mean, however many years ago that was. But you're right. There's a real kind of need for catch up in a lot of places.
Yeah. Cool. The biggest events of the year are gold mines for publishers, and Dizplay's new research shows you exactly how to cash in. We analysed over 30,000 comments across the US election, the World Cup, the Met Gala and more, uncovering 8 ways audiences engage so you can package, price and sell your content and own the conversation, whether you have broadcast rights or not. Head to Dizplai.com Insights to download Harness the Hype today. Right, and then last story. So Tubi. Why is Tubi giving away the World Cup for free this summer? So Tubi, we've talked about before, are the free Fox-owned hub. They've launched their 2026 FIFA World Cup service. It's going to be free, no subscription, no login destination for World Cup content, including original docuseries, talk shows, and selected live matches. So for instance, they'll simulcast the live in 4K actually. The opening ceremonies and 2 matches: Mexico, South Africa, and the US national team versus Paraguay. You'll be able to get that across connected TVs, mobile, web. Obviously, we won't be in the US, and if you are, certainly not to be able to watch this. And then Fox is simultaneously selling the World Cup to paying subscribers too. So they're trying to give people a little bit of a taste in the Tubi environment, but they're trying to obviously convert people from Tubi over to the Fox paid environment too. Obviously, we saw what YouTube announced around how they've done a number of deals through FIFA with rights holders around the world to be able to watch the first 10 minutes free on YouTube before you have to pop over to the media organization that has got the rights to it. So there's clearly been a mass movement around this World Cup about how do we reach the widest audience possible and try to work out a way to convert them, right?
Yeah. This is an interesting one because this almost flies in the face a little bit of the anonymous fan survey.
Yeah.
But and we often talk a lot about YouTube job versus OTT, the sports rights holders, and how are you going to move people over and that kind of piece. But I mean, the other piece of this is that you can just sell ad space if you're giving something free to air.
Yeah.
And that's the way that they'll be driving revenue through that model.
Yeah.
through that model as well. So there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to like generating some revenue. Again, I feel like this podcast quite often does a lot about the new stuff that's kind of coming out. Really interesting to see what data this brings back off the back of this one.
If it's a success, we'll hear all about it.
No doubt.
And if it's not, we won't.
Yeah.
No, look, and it's not dissimilar to what DAZN did with the Club World Cup, right? Again, it was, I think you had to register and you can, watch the games on there, and then they ended up with a mass group of people who registered, and then it's like, right, how much can we convert them now into paying subscribers? So, it's not necessarily a new thing. It's been done before in that sense. It's been interesting what Tubi's been doing because they've tried to do it a little bit differently to what other people have been doing. But this is going to be sort of the biggest proof concept yet for their model, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, they're still going to go up again. The other area that they're going up against, I mean, it's good that there's like, in this instance, it's like no subscription, no login destination. They're still going to be going up a lot of piracy. And I guess that's probably part of the thing they're trying to battle through as well.
Yeah, you'd imagine they're trying to see, actually, if we do it like this, can we generate enough money, I guess, through advertising and other conversion means when we've got them on the platform, because it's not just advertising, right? They could be doing deals with Fanatics around selling merch because you're on platform there side by side with the content. Just because they're not doing registration to go onto the platform to watch the content doesn't mean that they're not doing other engagement mechanics that you are sharing your data for. Again, like it'll be interesting to see what the actual activation looks like through the whole ecosystem of what a fan does when they're on platform. Like I said, does it see piracy go down because obviously these games are free? I think there's probably not enough games. I think if people are watching content that's pirated in a platform that they used to use, they'll just keep using it.
Yeah, true. I'm excited to see what this one brings out.
Yeah, me too. There's a few things in there as well. So have you enjoyed it? First pod with us anyway. It's not your first pod ever.
Yeah. It's not my first pod ever. No, I actually had one. I actually had my own pod a few years ago called The Real Marketing Rap, but
there you go.
It's dead now.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I think the one that got me emotional was the FIFA fan ID. Like in terms of like that, like real emotive connection that I think that brings the fans.
I think collecting them. Yeah, I can see how some people want to do that. And having that physical thing where they're not getting a physical ticket. So it could simply just replace that. And like I say, no one's going to really read the small print about where they're being tracked and what they're doing. And ultimately, like most people I think assume they're being tracked anyway these days.
Yeah. The MrBeast one, I'm going to go and have a dig round Viro and find out a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think anybody remixing my content, but there you go. Right then, Joe, we're done. I'm getting the word off producer Dan. You're done. That's enough. No more talking. People are bored by that. Thank you so much for joining me this week. This has been Joe Edwards. I've been Ed Abbott. This has been the Attention Shift Pod. If you've got any opinions on anything we've discussed today, you want to agree with us, you want to disagree with us, you can email us at hello@attentionshift. I forgot what the end of it is. .media. There we go. hello@attentionshift.media. Do it that many times and you forget it. So yeah, hello@attentionshift.media. You can email us. We've got more guests coming up. There's some great recent interviews that we've done that I would definitely recommend. Go and check out Dizplai.com and you can find all the recent pods on there. But Joe, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you for watching today's episode of The Attention Shift. If you enjoyed this conversation, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. And make sure you smash that bell icon too, so you're always the first to know exactly when a new episode drops.